Why, hello there, and welcome to Yackandandah, where as I hear nervous clicking from my back wheel after it's been rebuilt, this is the guide to the green loop, which is the shack track. Now honestly, shack track is nothing overly special. It is a great little green loop, and I do love riding the shack track, but the main reason why you want to know about the shack track is essentially how it relates to the rest of the park. So for me, the shack track allows access to the red loop, which is the diggings loop. It gets you to the purple loop, otherwise known as Kokoda, and it leads to a little black diamond segment in the middle of the loop called Carcass Canyon. And Carcass Canyon is a great bit of fun. And of course, if you're not following along the entire series, yesterday was riding up at Falls Creek, was trying to do the climb all the way from the bottom of Packhorse all the way to the summit. Halfway up, snapped a spoke at the J hook and then took out another one, and due to the location of where those snap spokes were, had to retire Jaeger. I'll have to take the bike in for a full wheel rebuild, but hell, didn't end up in hospital, so I don't mind. Okay, so 1.5 kilometers into the shack loop. Off to the right we have highway to hill. That's where the Kokoda loop and the red diggings loop are. Off to the left, we'll be doing that later, that is Carcass Canyon. That is the black diamond downhill route that goes throughout the middle of this loop. So it's more or less, well, a beeline to this entire loop. It's not really a shortcut because there's a few extra folds, twists and turns in the Carcass Canyon that eat up distance and time. So where all that junction work is, that's the top, so the highest point of elevation. So we're starting to point downwards. Plenty of beelines strewn about. Off to the right is the pink loop. That's brand new from when I was last here about 4 years ago. That is the Yackandandah loop, or however the locals pronounce it, because it's not spelled Yackandandah. So it's sort of a medium-sized loop compared to everything else, with the diggings, Kokoda and ground effect loops being around the 17 to 21 kilometer mark. Yackandandah's a bit shorter. So if you see signs for a pink loop, that's what that's all about. But of course, you would have also seen a purple arrow. That indicates to riders that once they're done with the Kokoda loop, so that's the purple loop, that this is the way back down. Somewhere up ahead will be the joining point for the red loop, the diggings loop. And a lot of the trails here at Yackandandah are this fairly similar, loose on hard pack, with a lot of leaf litter. And every so often you do get a few rocks and roots to spice things up, but the majority of these loops is just scenic, loose on hard pack riding, which I really appreciate. So now the three major routes have all joined. Off to the left where I was looking, that's where Carcass Canyon joins into the mix. So all the Yackandandah loops, aside from ground effect, are now fed into this final bit of a traversal to get back to the car park. And here we are back at the car park. So this is the main trailhead. So if you search for Yackandandah MTB, this is where you'll end up. So until next time, keep riding sails.